It's a great day to be a Michigan Wolverine. Hail to the victors valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan. I'm changing the words. The champions of the world. Oh my goodness. What a day. What a night. What a great way to complete a college football season. I would only be equally excited or maybe more excited if Baylor, my undergrad alma mater, won, but doesn't happen anytime soon. Michigan, seeing my law school alma mater win was so satisfying and wonderful and gratifying. And I'm not going to go through like the step-by-step on how they beat Washington, but I want to just say like lessons learned from this season. And let's take away all the drama with my boy Harbaugh. Love him. By the way, notice if you're watching, I've made some progress in the office. If I took away one thing that could like impact my life, because really at the end of the day, whether you're watching reality TV, whether you're watching the news, whether you're watching TV, reading a book, watching sports, all of the Olympics, which is coming up this year, all of those things there's a lesson in life in each one of those things. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, yes, you see the highs and the lows, and you see the excitement. And boy, my goodness, watching Pennick Jr. and the other players just sit there all sad when they left. Pennick Jr., his rib, like that was painful. I'm like, y'all, take him off the field. But there's more than, and I'm thinking, these are boys. Like, I am well above the boy range. Like, I'm like, they are, you get older, like thinking, okay, these are kids. They're kids. But this is my This is my piece of advice for all of us. Bet on yourself. And I think about where I am in life right now, and I am in my peony era. I think everyone, like this year, rather than having a word of the year, I have a era. Thank you, a la Taylor Swift. And my era I call the peony era, because last year was a lot of figuring things out, sowing the seeds for my flower, and peonies are my favorite flower, to bloom. And if I look at where I am in life right now, while I'm in a great place in a lot of things, I'm not where I want to be in other places, like my, if you want to call it a career. I'm not where I want to be in my career. And I realize, why not? I'm not, because I stopped betting on myself. In my 20s, I bet on myself. But you bet on yourself, and sometimes things don't work out the way you expect them to or you want them to, and you start to lose that glimmer of fearlessness. And that adds up, and it compiles, and especially if you're someone like me who's almost like an occupational nomad, it gets a little bit hairy, even more so. And my 30s was playing it small. And my early 40s was going from playing it small to finding myself again for this moment. I am where I am today because I didn't bet on myself, even in the small things. And when I watch Michigan win against all odds, when I watch them lose twice for the last 2 years in the semifinal game and get obliterated, it was not pretty. And I watch those players who decided to come back another year when they could have gone into the draft, they could have started the NFL years, but a lot of them stayed. And they stayed, and they, for 372 days, their only focus was winning this championship. And they bet on themselves. And when things weren't going their way, when the world was like, and all these accusations were going against them, they bet on themselves. They focused on themselves, and they believed, and they got it. Yowza. That to me is my inspiration. And this morning I'm like, okay, yeah, bet on myself. Last night I had a hard time sleeping because the stress is coming back again. It just is. And it's a lot of just wanting things to be successful yesterday. And if they're not, like, oh my gosh, wait a moment. And a lot of things I'm just starting. Like, I want the house done now. Okay, it's clearly I'm in an empty room. I want, we'll have a desk. I want this podcast to reach as many people and impact as many people as possible. I'm in the infant stages, and that is okay. But you power through, and you do. And with like the user-generated content I'm doing, it's been great, but I want more now. I want it now. And so it was a reminder to myself, first of all, bet there are going to be safe choices that are going to come up. They're going to be safe choices. It would have been the safe thing for them to do, to say, let me go into the draft portal. Into the transfer portal and go to another school, or let me go ahead and go into the draft and let me start my career as an NFL professional player. But they said, no, I'm going to bet on myself and not all these shiny things, and I'm going to do. And they did. So that makes me, that hit me. And when I watched as a fan last night, that's not what hit me. But I did, because I couldn't sleep very well last night. I woke up and I was looking through X/Twitter and the gram, just looking at just Michigan stuff. And right before I came on here today with you, I was like, I had this piece of, if I bet on myself, then I'm good. When I don't bet on myself, that's when I'm not good. I'd like you to think about your life and ask yourself if that's similar. Like, but you want to do the safe thing, and that's not the best thing. No, I'm a safety first kind of girl. Don't get me wrong. But in certain situations, when you're thinking about your future, your career, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish in your business or what in your workplace, bet on yourself. Stop betting on other people's dreams. Stop betting on other people's things. Bet on you. We're in that age. We're in that era. I want to also just mention to you, did you see the video? Oh my gosh, y'all. And eventually I think I might have a little something where I like show you the video from behind so you can see it. I don't know that I'm going to be that sophisticated now, but did you see the Nevada judge who was sentencing a criminal? And as she was sentencing him, I really can say that, I promise. He lunged from, where they stand. And she's like, I'm going to teach you a lesson. He lunged on her, like up on the, over the bench, and started attacking her. And there was like a court martial in there and like others, and they had to fight. Not his lawyer. His lawyer just sat there like, like, I'm like, you know, your guy's scary. She ended up being okay. Didn't have to go to the hospital. This went on for a while. Like, the video is long. And the marshal, the officer, he had dislocated shoulder and did have to go to the hospital. But what ridiculous. Like, that is just it. I think because my dream was to be a Supreme Court justice once upon a time, to see that and to see like how close it could have been to something really bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, speaking of safety, we need more protection. Shit skis. I'm like, what? And then the reason I thought about this is because last night it popped on my Instagram an update where because she never got to finish sentencing him for the thing he'd done in the first place. So he was back in jail. He's back in her court yesterday. And y'all, they had like a mask. His face was covered, which makes me wonder if he like bit or something. And then his hands were like all covered in this like orange, like, I don't even call it mitt because it was totally like cylindrical. Wow, the words. And I just thought, okay, that, and he's in shackles and there are two guards next to him, which is how it should have been given what he did. And he was like, obviously a violent guy, but I just thought, dude, look, what did you think you're going to accomplish by attacking a judge? Did you think that they're going to be like, never mind, we're not going to sentence you? And now you look like your humanity has been taken from you. And then you look like a caged animal. It was just so weird. I don't know if you saw it, you'd see it's going around, and it was just wild. And now he's also, so I think he can be out in 4 years for whatever she sentenced him for. But now he has to go in front of another judge for attacking a federal judge. And that could be like close to life or something. You don't do that. You don't do that. Anyhow, that was crazy, crazy, crazy. You should check out, I might put the link to the video in my notes, because you might be like, what? Yeah, the video is crazy. Update on the house and what's going on here. So today we fly back to California. We're going to be there for 3 days. So I'll work from there, do all things from there. But the house is like empty, y'all. The house, I'll be working from a coffee shop. The house is like, or the apartment is empty. We just have to get some final stuff. We have to get the car. So, you know that whole thing when you have to go back to a place. Have you ever moved and you're like, I got to go back and clean it or get one last load? That going back feels so heavy. And we have acclimated and are already loving the house. And Baylor loves the house so much that it's like, we got to go back. So that's a little bit like, but we are. I am excited to see some of my girlfriends though, so I'm going to make a priority to do that. And there's a hair appointment that needs to happen since she canceled on me on the 27th. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, those things are essential, but otherwise I would like, I don't know. So we got to go back and then we'll be finally moved. I told Scott, I'm like, I'm not going to feel like we're finally settled until we do that last trip. When we do that last trip and we come back, then I'll be like, okay, we're officially here. But until then, no ma'am, no ma'am. So pray for me because we got to do that and pray that we do that safely and all the things. That's all I have. I'll keep you posted. The office, there are no boxes. I got rid of all boxes in the house. Scott has one more. So I'm like, I beat you because he'd finished all his unpacking like last week. And I just felt so good that he has one box that's sitting there, but everything else is almost in its place except my office. I have a lot of, it's just funny when you see what you own. Y'all, I have so many. So many tripods for lights and for things. So when it's all said and done, it'll be great. But it's going to take a little bit of time, but this feels good. And if you've been watching, the sun literally has been rising. I did not put any lights on in here because I'm like, well, we'll just do it with the sunlight. And so it's kind of cool to see the sunlight, the natural light that I told you about come through, looking pretty good. I hope you find some light to shine on you today. Go be great, and I'll see you tomorrow from Cali. I'm going back to Cali. Yep, I guess so. Bye, everybody.